Aloha! It is time for me to tell you all about the Kiki Room. It is a show brought to you by Audio Animatronics.
If perhaps after dinner you'd like to spend a romantic evening together, may we suggest the Moonlight Cruise, where you'll sail the waters of Walt Disney World aboard an authentic side-wheel steamboat.
Here's to the future. Here's to the future. Here's to the future. Here's to the future and you.
WDW Radio, your information station.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the WDW Radio Show, your Walt Disney World information station. I am your host, Lou Mongello, and this is show number 204 for the week of January 9th, 2011. An important part of the Walt Disney World experience for me and many other guests is enjoying the wide variety of dining options that are available. And while there are many tried and true favorites, there's also a large number of locations that are very much overlooked. This week, we explore what I believe to be is one of those restaurants. Located in the Walt Disney World Dolphin, celebrity chef Todd English's Blue Zoo offers fresh seafood in a spectacular setting where both the food and the decor are works of art. We'll do a live restaurant review of Blue Zoo and let you share in our overall dining experience, as we also chat with our server, the general manager, sommelier, and executive chef. I'll have a few announcements and then play more of your voicemails at the end of the show, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of the WDW Radio Show. I'm a firm believer that in Walt Disney World, attractions are things you do in between meals, because Walt Disney World is full of incredible dining experiences beyond burgers and chicken nuggets and so much more. And what I love doing on the show is, in addition to introducing you to overlooked experiences in the parks, sometimes uncovering some of those hidden treasures or maybe some of those places that you never thought about dining. And oftentimes, those places can be found in some of the resorts outside the Walt Disney World theme parks. And today we're going to do another live restaurant review, and this evening we are in Todd English's Blue Zoo over at the Walt Disney World Dolphin, located in the Epcot Resort area. And tonight I am once again joined by good friends and fellow foodies, Glenn Whalen.
It's the Blue Zoo review, coming right at you.
Who vows not to sing, and a man who truly loves his cheese, Mr. Scott Otis.
Good evening, everybody. Well, happy to be here.
I am as well, because, Glenn, this is a place that we've walked by a number of times and really have been looking forward to trying. Again, it's sort of tucked away on the ground level of the Dolphin, and for a lot of people, even if they're walking around the boardwalk or they go over by the Yacht and Beach Club, a lot of times people, if they're not staying here, don't make their way over. So to a certain degree, this is one of those hidden treasures, and again, it's one of those certainly more upscale restaurants in Walt Disney World.
It's just gorgeous in here, and there's like a waterfall wall as you walk in. It's it draws you in. You feel like you need to touch it, and walk around. There's all this punched copper everywhere. It's a gorgeous establishment.
Yeah, and even the chandeliers and the columns in the middle give you that sense of water and bubbles and that you're underwater. Beautifully appointed and decorated restaurant. Again, if people are looking for a nice evening with their family or a couple looking for a romantic evening, like the three of us obviously are looking for. This is a really nice place.
Right, and I noticed over here there's a beautiful wall with a lot of wine bottles in it, and it's interestingly lit. It's very interesting, very, very beautiful.
And two, we're sitting right near the open kitchen, so you can see, and we'll talk later as we get to the menu, sort of the dancing fish over the open flames. So, again, the decor here, very, very unique. And like I said, it's I think one of those things that a lot of people don't even know exists, even though obviously Todd English, very famous, chef from TV.
Right. And many of the menu items that we saw on the way in suggest that something special is going on. And like you mentioned, those dancing fish, they're fascinating. They're spinning on a spit, spinning on a spit, and they just look amazing.
Yeah, and there's it's primarily, for the most part, a heavily seafood influenced menu, but we're going to talk to our waiter and sort of go through the menu item by item and get an idea of what some of his recommendations are along the way. So tonight, our waiter is going to be Joseph. Joseph, good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to Blue Zoo. I'll be going over some of the menu items this evening, talk about some of our fresh fish, and tell you all about our famous lobster.
Sounds good. Let's start at the beginning and work our way down.
The fifth appetizer on the menu are the pan-seared sea scallops, which are my personal favorite. 2 jumbo scallops, golden brown. They are accompanied with the braised short rib, cauliflower puree, red onions and mash, and a little bit of the short rib au jus sauce. The scallops are very, very tender. The braised short rib is just like butter. Excellent combination of the two. The last appetizer is the Low Country shrimp. These are 3 jumbo shrimp. They're hand rubbed with smoked paprika. It comes on a bed of white Harmony grits with white cheddar cheese, pickled okra, cherry tomatoes, and a little bit of bacon butter. The bacon butter brings out that smoky country flavor to them, which is really nice. Next on the menu is a selection platter. That's something you would share from the raw bar. Consists of 6 oysters, 6 little neck clams, 4 jumbo shrimp, a lobster tail in the center, ceviche today. Tuna crude is just like a tartare. We serve it in a sweet soy vinaigrette, and it is accompanied with 4 dipping sauces on the outside to be enjoyed. The wonderful thing is we harvest fresh oysters daily. We have some from the East Coast and some from the West Coast. And if something you want to enjoy, I'll go more detail what we're featuring this evening, which is really nice. On the other page, starting with the simple fish, that's today's fresh catch of the day. We're featuring 4 fish. You would choose one of the fish, and you accompany with 1 sauce on the side. The wonderful thing is the chef puts the sauce in a copper pot. You kind of add it to your fish as you go. Today we have cobia. Cobia is better known as lemon fish. White fish, really mild. It's got a little bit of a citrus lemon flavor to it. The next fish is going to be your thicker fish. It's triple tail. White fish, a little bit more thicker to it, almost like a swordfish texture on there. 2 local fish is the Florida black grouper and mahi-mahi this evening. So you would choose 1 fish and then 1 sauce. The crab meat sauce is the lightest sauce. Chunks of crab meat with Dijon, beurre blanc, shallots, and garlic. The spicier sauce is the carrot harissa. It's made with roasted peppers, and it's finished with carrot juice and carrot puree. To any of these sauces, you could add the lobster supplement, which is the lobster claw and the knuckle meat. We butter poach, and we put it right in your sauce pot on there. So far, so good?
We're smiling and drooling at the same time.
Okay.
You had me at sea scallops.
The miro on our menu, which is the 3rd fish, this is Hawaiian sea bass, really buttery. We serve it in a miso glaze, gives it that nice sweet finish, and it is accompanied with ginger shiitake rice. This is an excellent tasting fish, very equivalent to Chilean sea bass, black cod, or sable. Just kind of falls apart on your fork. Really nice tasting. The dancing fish is the fish right in front of you going around our grill. That's the yellowtail snapper. We do serve this fish whole. I will debone the table side. The chef hand rubs it with smoked paprika on the outside, chorizo puree, and fingerling potatoes. I always let the guests know, though, we do serve the fish whole. It's the only one on our menu that you might find a few bones in. We'll try to get most of them out for you. Working down the menu, the beef tenderloin is wonderful here. It's 8 ounces of black Angus. It's served in a buttersquash puree with sous vide buttersquash, various types of mushrooms, and the sauce is agua dulce, which is a sweet demi-glaze sauce. The tuna on our menu is a sushi grade. It's one of the only fish you want to enjoy rare to medium rare. You don't want to overcook it. You tend to dry out the quality of it. It's almost like 2 tuna steaks there. The king salmon is Copper River salmon out of Washington State. It is a wild salmon. We do serve it medium rare. I let the guests know we serve it medium rare. I undercook it a little bit to keep it really moist, which is really nice. And last but least is our Cantonese lobster. It is 2 pounds. It is completely deshelled for you. It's hand-tossed in a soy sticky glaze. It is accompanied with baby bok choy, stir-fried vegetables, and white sushi rice, which is really nice. And it's finished with a little bit of a pea shoot salad. Keep in mind the chef deshells it and cleans it off for you. Any questions at this time with the menu?
I see something amazing sounding. On the side dish, lobster, broccoli, stuffed cheddar potato.
Exactly. It's a whole potato. We stuff it with broccolini, a touch of sour cream, lobster meat, and it's finished with Vermont cheddar cheese melted on top. Those sides there on the side.
Limit to how many you can eat?
We can start off with 10, so as you wish.
Glenn, it's inappropriate for you to hug the waiter, at least before the waiter. Can you also? I see that there's also a 5-course chef's tasting menu, which is created daily. Can you tell us a little bit about what that entails?
The chef puts it up daily, and it's something that's fresh every day, and it'll be 5 courses, and he has a list ready, and I'll go over it because it changes every day. It's something new we've been doing for like 2 months, and what the chef does, he works with all his ingredients, very seasonal. Our menu is very seasonal. We change it every 5 to 6 months. So your first course is the duck pate, and it comes with the cherry mustard, pickled beet, and rustic bread. The second course is cobia, also known as lemon fish, parsnip puree, heirloom beets with iced spinach on the side there. Your third course is the king salmon, serrano ham, white bean, cold smoked swordfish vinaigrette on the bottom. And then you get into your fourth course, which is the wagyu flagyu steak, red thumb potatoes, roasted carrot with butternut squash puree. You're also going to get your choice of a cheese platter or a trio of desserts. And then desserts are made by our fresh pastry champion, Chef Laurent, which is really nice. And we'll go over what he's featuring this evening. It's always a mystery what you're going to get there. Any questions on anything so far?
Question. Could you tell us about the blue raw bar?
The selection platter on the raw bar, that consists of 6 oysters, 6 little neck clams, 4 jumbo shrimp, lobster tail in the center, ceviche, tuna critters like a tartare. We serve it in a sweet soy vinaigrette, and it has 4 dipping sauces on the outside. And to the selection platter, you could also add the claws today if you wish, out of Key West, which are a really nice addition. That's something I would start off with if you want to try a little bit. It's all made to order. They chuck with oysters. It's really nice.
So, Joe, for the appetizer, you recommend the selection platter.
The selection platter has a little bit of everything, and also we're featuring the claws this evening. And also, as a hot appetizer, the chef could break it down. We have the pan-seared sea scallops with the braised short rib is excellent. Cauliflower puree, red onions, and mash. So you could have a hot appetizer, kind of share table side. Then I would put the selection platter in the center. It's an excellent way to start.
Joe, I think we'll take your recommendation.
I'm going to get that going, but it takes about 10 minutes to make everything, and I'll come back and answer any questions you have for me on our menu. You're welcome. My pleasure.
Joe, I have one question. I know you have a pretty extensive wine list here. For people like myself who are amateurs but may want to have sort of a wine pairing, would you recommend wines, or do you have somebody who would make wine recommendations?
We have our sommelier, which each evening he looks at the menu and he'll course each wine with the course and kind of balance the wine with the dinner each evening. And usually you end with a champagne or a port. He does a well job. And it's also, if you wanted to have a Pinot Noir instead of what he's pairing, by all means, we'll fix any way we can to accommodate the guests. So, and we also have a cocktail list that I haven't showed you yet. Has a little bit of everything. All the drinks are made seasonal with fresh spirits, fresh juices. It's really amazing list. I could go over too. So, you want to take a peek at that? Yeah. Okay, let me bring that over.
Doug actually just brought over some appetizers, and Doug, you are also a manager and a sommelier?
Yes, I'm the general manager and sommelier, mixologist also.
Awesome. Great. Can you tell us a little bit about what you brought us, and then also, I was asking before about wine pairings, and you also showed us obviously a very unique drink menu as well.
Yes, chef prepared something special, a little amuse this evening. We have Beecher's agnolotti with a little parsnip puree on the bottom, dehydrated parsnip also on the top, and a little bit of red ribbon sorrel. For our pairings that we like to do here in the restaurant, we have a 375 bottle wine list. We've won the Wine Spectator Award of Excellence for every year we've been open, so it's something that we definitely pride ourselves on, and innovation in cocktails. So we do everything from infusing all of our syrups in-house. We infuse all of our liquors in-house. We make fresh rock candy syrup. We make fresh all of our mixers here. So it's something that we really focus on, fresh, seasonal, and prepared here in-house.
And you said, how long actually has the restaurant been open?
We've been open. It'll be 7 years this month, so we're pretty excited. It's been a great undertaking here for Todd English and his first endeavor into Florida. And now he's got 3 other restaurants here. So.
And can you tell us a little bit about what makes Blue Zoo unique? We were talking, obviously, when we came in, you sort of get the sense of
the decor reflects the menu. Obviously, very heavily seafood influenced, but it's such a unique atmosphere, and again, it's reflected in the menu.
Yeah, it's definitely unique and cutting edge. A lot of people try to call it New American cuisine. We call it coastal cuisine. So it's based in a lot of seafood, but we do have alternate options with pork, chicken, and beef. And it's based in seasonality. We change our menu 4 times a year. We also use fresh seasonal ingredients. We almost exclusively use a farm here called Hammock Hollow Farm, where it's Florida's oldest organic farm, and they just send us from day to day boxes of fresh produce, and we figure out how to incorporate them in our dishes. So instead of knowing, you'll see some vague listings on our menu of what's actually going to accompany your meal, because we'll get it in that day, we'll prepare it, and add it to your dish to make sure that we have the freshest and the brightest ingredients.
Yeah, well, the tough thing for us so far has been going over the menu, and everything sounds good, and as we're watching things being cooked in the open kitchen and coming by, it's making our decisions even tougher.
Yeah, it's something that we have to deal with every day. If you imagine walking by and you smell the fresh ginger on a plate, or you smell the smoked paprika, it's amazing that I'm as skinny as I am.
I got a question for you, actually. Put on the mixologist hat for a moment. Do you have the bar? Is that actually, if you're not here to eat, are you welcome to come in and partake of the bar?
We absolutely are open for all sorts of business in the bar. We do quite a few good receptions in there because of our cocktails. And one thing that we're unique for and known for is if you have a large group that wants to come in, we'll create a cocktail specific for your group. So your colors may be red or blue, and we'll create a cocktail in that color. We've even done where we create in the foam on the top of the drink your company logo, so when you get it, then we're branding you also.
That is so awesome. We are so having a WDW radio meet here at some point in the future.
Wonderful. Well, you're welcome back anytime, and let's enjoy the agnolotti before it gets cold, and I'll be back and forth as we go out through the meal, and any questions that you come up with, just let me know.
Thanks so much.
Enjoy.
So I will forever continue to apologize for my wife to taking her to Pecos Bills and taking you guys to Blue Zoo, because I'm not quite sure what he said was in here.
I think
but,
it is kind of crazy.
But you just had the same reaction. There was a legitimate rolling of the eyes and a giggle.
Oh, this is delicious. I don't know what it is.
It's a pasta in. It looks like some sort of a reduction.
Oh my god.
And like a light cream sauce.
You're not gonna like it, Scott. But this is so. Lou and I get to have yours. This is amazing. Amazing. I'm gonna pass on the potato now. I'm just gonna.
Did I understand him correctly that this was not something on the menu? He said it was something that the chef created and brought over.
Yes, that's what he said. He said, "Hey, we got something special for you," and he said words like hominy and red vines or something, and Twizzlers or something like that.
We all heard parsnip, but I don't. But this is. We'll have to have him describe it again because it's a.
Try one bit. I mean, I'd hate for it to.
I don't even want to attempt to describe it because I'm going to get it wrong.
But
it actually, I think it is cheese.
Is it cheese?
I think there might be cheese there. And I'm only saying that it's cheese so Scott doesn't eat it.
Oh, it's so good.
That's phenomenal.
That is phenomenal. This is what they should give out for Halloween.
And you know what, too? It's very clean and it's very fresh and light.
Refreshing. And it comes at this plate is really awesome. It looks like a Olympic disc.
It's a disc of Tron with a small little bowl in the middle. Let me just, totally bring it down to geek level. Joe, I don't know what this was, but it was phenomenal.
Agnolotti is a homemade ravioli, and if you look at it, it kind of looked like the Pope's hat. And what the chef does, he stuffed it with Beecher's cheese. That's out of Seattle. It's a cheddar cheese. Not very sharp, very creamy, more buttier. And I don't know what the sauce on it, because he made it to order on you. It looks like a celery root puree, but he does make the agnolotti here. They're homemade. And that's kind of the chef's pasta every day that he comes up with. From now on, from this point, I'm no longer nervous. We're going to have fun. Let's do it. We'll talk about the fish and everything. And
this was out of sight. We couldn't even find the right words to describe it. And again, the presentation much as we saw the plates going by, I mean, the presentation is just beautiful, too.
The red ribbon sorrel and all your microgreens and all your vegetables that we serve in this restaurant are fresh, organic, seasonal. They come in every day. They come from Chef's Garden, so it's what makes it very, very special. Everything is fresh.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I can't believe Scott's not going to... Scott, give me your dish. That's a sin. Thank you, Joe. I'll trade you. Glenn, you and I will share this because...
Let's have a moment of silence for Scott while we eat this.
Scott doesn't eat pasta.
He doesn't eat cheese.
And that's actually a good thing for us.
Right now, it's a really good thing.
Oh,
Scott's the
my
best
God.
guy to hang out with right now.
The next course you're going to like is going to be a little bit of everything. Oysters, clams. We got the claws coming out, so it's going to be really, really nice. And I was going to assist you with the menu if you had some questions about the fish and everything.
Glenn, I will, in the interest of friendship, I'm going to offer to you the third one. There you go. That's all for you.
In the interest of friendship, I'm going to accept.
That's if the rest of the meal is as good as that, we're good to go. Even we were joking around, like even the iced tea was good. And what'd you call it? You called it the champagne of iced teas?
No, because it says it right on the bottle. It is the champagne of iced teas, and it's the Jarlin. We serve it unsweetened, and it's very popular here. It also makes an excellent Arnold Palmer on there. On the next course, I mean, we have the selection platter coming. I don't know if you want to share like a small salad. We're very famous. It's a roasted beet salad. The yellow beets on there, candy walnuts, a little light drizzle of a goat cheese fondue, and then the mixed greens. So you can taste the salad a little bit.
Would you like it without the goat cheese?
Yeah, it's all made to order, which is easy. And then I'm going to give you like a half portion, though, not the full portion, so you can kind of taste it a little bit.
And you can put some goat cheese on the side in case we want to,
I'll put 2 with goat cheese fondue, 1 without, and then I'll bring the goat cheese on the side. Okay, and it comes in the vinaigrette, which we'll go over. 3 sides.
Todd English is just turning over in his... Well, he's not dead yet, but if he was, he'd be turning over his grave that you're missing out on all the cheese. Was he really?
Yeah, we had the Food and Wine Festival, and every year we have a 7-course pairing with the wine. This year was the Benzinger wine, and he's here, and we do it every year. And he drops by. Comes a lot often.
It's nice. It's nice, and it's also reassuring to know that the restaurateurs whose namesake is attached to the restaurant actually do come and visit, not just lend their name to it.
Yeah, probably comes here, I would say 6 to 8 times a year I see him. Stops by a lot. He also goes to Tampa. He's in the Home Shopping Network. He sells the Thailandese pots and pans.
He's got a few restaurants in Florida now. He's got several in Florida.
Mr. Draper knows more about restaurants. I know a few. Olive's Tables in Boston, of course. That's one of his famous ones. He also has Figs. I know he has one in the Bellagio. And I know he just opened a couple ones in New York because the chef went out there. The restaurants and all that, chef is more knowledge on that, and Mr. Draper has more knowledge on all the restaurants, but I know he has a few. Yeah. We were going to talk about the fish, Scott. What were you kind of thinking about for your entree?
So basically, I do enjoy fish, but I enjoy a lighter, milder fish. So I'm interested in perhaps getting the Simply Fish, but can you recommend something that's more mild?
The cobia is one that I love. It's really mild, really light, and it has a little bit of a citrus lemon flavor, and that's where it gets its nickname, the lemon fish. And it's going to pair really nice with the warm crab meat sauce. It's chunks of crab meat, Dijon, beurre blanc, shallots, and garlic. The wonderful thing is the chef serves it on the side in a copper pot. You kind of add the sauce to your fish. It's not flooded in the sauce. If you want a little spicier sauce, it would be the carrot harissa. And to any of the 3 sauces, you could add the lobster meat, which is the claw and some of the knuckle meat. The chef will butter poach it for you.
Is there a lighter fish that actually the sesame ginger sauce is catching my eye? Is there a fish
maybe
that
the mahi-mahi? What you're thinking? Maybe lighter. The black grouper is a little bit more dense, and so is the triple tail.
also
It's
a lighter
a light
fish?
white fish.
Okay.
Very light, really, really mild.
I will get the mahi-mahi with the sesame ginger.
I'll be tasting some of Scott's fish.
And did you want to enjoy some of the lobster meat in your sauce? Just the way it is? Okay.
Is it my turn to order?
Oh, it is.
I love almost everything that you said is on the menu here. I'm thinking that I've never had triple tail. I think so. I'm going to try that. And I guess with the crab meat.
Wish to enjoy some of the lobster meat in there?
Yeah, that would be awesome. And I would also love one of those.
Broccoli lobster.
Yes, the cheddar lobster broccoli stuffed potato.
Just so you know why your fish is called triple tail, if you ever get to see it, it looks like it has 2 tails on the outside and 1 in the center. So the fish actually looks like it has 3 tails on it, and that's where it gets its nickname, the triple tail.
Very
it's an
cool.
Excellent white fish.
Years of swimming in radioactive waste, actually, is
The Simpsons fish. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and you'll need to bring an extra shovel for. I'll be tasting Glenn's lobster broccoli stuffed cheddar potato. So I'm a huge tuna fan, and I was very tempted to get the ahi tuna, but I think I'm going to go with your recommendation and have the miso glazed miro, the Hawaiian sea bass with shiitake, because the shiitake ginger rice, the black garlic, and the sticky soy. I sort of like that Asian little flair to it there.
Really nice, really buttery fish, really light. It just falls apart on your fork. The ginger shiitake rice is an excellent combination on there. And I'm also going to treat you to the hare corvère. These are French green beans, lightly tempura battered. They're accompanied with the black truffle aioli. They're excellent here. I do not want you to miss them.
Joe, I may hug you before the night's over. I'm just saying.
We might need to do that. So we're good. We're going to have the raw bar coming out. We're going to go into the salads, and then we go into main course, and then we'll talk about the desserts, which is very interesting here.
Thank you very much.
And one question I do ask, do you want me to bring out fresh bread now, or you want to enjoy it after the raw bar?
I don't know if you're going to experience the raw bar too much, so it might be.
Bring some bread now? Okay, perfect. I'll be right out.
Thank you.
You want?
I don't know if I've ever been as excited for a meal.
Were you,
Joe, I got to tell you something. We were talking before about presentation and the looks and the smells of the food coming by. This has got to be one of the most beautifully presented meals. Tell us about what you just brought out and talk slowly.
This is our selection platter. What it's featuring is 4 jumbo shrimp. We accompany with the Bloody Mary with the fresh horseradish. 6 oysters. You have 4 from the West Coast, 2 from the East. Little neck clams, a half a dozen. Fresh ceviche with a cucumber essence. And it's tuna cruda. It's a tuna tartare. And it is served in a sweet soy vinaigrette. In the center, you have a poached lobster tail and accompanied are Alaskan king crab claws this evening. They're pre-cracked, left in the shell for presentation, and those will be enjoyed with the honey mustard on the side. It's time to enjoy them.
This is phenomenal. We've taken some pictures.
Also, in addition, the chef has brought out the pan-seared sea scallops. Underneath, you have the braised short rib, and it comes in a homemade cauliflower puree, and it's finished with a little bit of red onions mash and the short rib au jus. This is one of my favorite appetizers, and in a minute, you'll know why. It's excellent.
I don't know where to start other than just making sure that Glenn and Scott don't touch the tuna. So, gentlemen, and I use that term loosely, bon appetit.
Please enjoy, and bring another Diet Coke in just a minute.
I'll actually hold off before tasting it I want to hear Glenn's.
Well, I'm actually going to dig into the scallop here. It's very.
Oh, really?
It's phenomenal. I'm going to cry.
The scallop, the important thing about scallops is if you don't cook it the right way, it can get very tough. And it's cooked perfectly, and the short rib just kind of melts in your mouth with the sort of cauliflower reduction underneath. That's nice. That's nice.
Delicious. Very tasty. Wow.
Are you glad this is in a video?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But the scallop it doesn't have a fishy taste to it at all.
No, it doesn't. And I thought it would.
Joe, I see why this is your favorite of the appetizers.
Yeah, I hope they never remove it from our menu.
I'll come back every day and order it so we make sure they don't.
This is another great thing. All of the bread is homemade. Start off with the Parmesan lavash, is the real crispy one. It has a little bit of fresh rosemary on there with Parmesan Romano. On the bottom is onion focaccia with caramelized onions, and then homemade ciabatta. We even make our butter from scratch, and it's made with fennel seeds. And the fennel seeds is going to give it a little bit of a licorice flavor to your taste. Please enjoy.
Joe is my new best friend.
Hello.
I know you're sitting right here, but I don't care. The Parmesan is nice and sharp. It's obviously it's wafer thin. It's like a wafer thin, but it's great thin, like a Parmesan crust almost. Oh, wait a minute! Look at this.
Oh man!
Look what's under the ciabatta. Somebody take a picture of that. Are you kidding me? It's a warm, soft bread. I'm using my fingers because we're all family here. It's a warm, soft bread with caramelized onions on top.
You know, it's funny. We're sitting here with this huge thing of seafood that Scott's not going to touch, and you and I are eating the bread.
I would like to know, where have scallops been my entire life?
In the cheese aisle.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you kidding me?
Are you out of your mind?
That bread and the caramelized onions are so sweet.
The one that's down here?
You could make a meal out of... I'm good.
It's like,
Kill me now. I'm ready to go.
Oh. This is amazing. I'm gonna cry tonight.
So we're raving about this, and Scott goes for the other one. No, you don't need to eat this. You can leave more for us.
Hands up.
All right, hey Luke.
Yeah, we got to dig in, man.
Yeah, the shrimp are now. I think what I'm gonna hit. Do you like shrimp, Scott?
I do not.
This is all for us. I'm so nervous right now. Why did we order dinner? You could. I mean, that's a meal. This is really a meal right here.
What did you decide?
Sorry, I'm like one step behind. It's the caramelized onion bread. Wow. I love caramelized onion, so this is perfect bread.
So if we transcribe this review into a blog post, all becomes wow. Oh. As people are looking at our table like, why are those three men making all those yummy sounds? So I'm just going to reach over because the tuna's on this side.
All right, well, swing it around then, so I can taste the tuna as well. Can you lift up the whole
It's
thing?
it's a sushi grade tuna, diced into small little pieces.
Here, this is I know your favorite stuff in the world, Blue. So I'm going to put that on your plate. All right, so this is sushi grade tuna. Awesome. I guess it's in a soy base. Wonderful. Did they have this kind of food at the launching pad? That is so good.
Now, listen, I'm going to go out on a limb and go with me here. We're only not even through our appetizers. This is quickly jumping up to be
The best.
It may be my best meal ever at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, and I think even if the entree comes out and it's just a turkey leg, I think it's still going to be. This is awesome.
Yes, even though I'm trepidatious about some of these items, I'm very much enjoying what I'm seeing, and I'm looking forward to the main dish as well.
I don't remember
And the
what.
looks on your guys' faces. This is definitely your favorite meal. I can tell.
Joe needs to come out and describe what this is. Is this the crab meat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice chunks of tender lump crab meat.
Scott, I keep eating your bread, bud.
Why? The bread was so 5 minutes ago.
It's phenomenal.
All right, because I'm waiting for you to.
No,
move
don't
on to the next.
move on to the next one. I'm gonna keep. You don't want any more of this? You can have some of this.
No,
Don't.
sure.
You don't have to give it all to me.
We have two different kinds of oysters.
So he said they're
Jumbo
East Coast and West Coast oysters. I'm not sure. We'll ask him where the East Coast.
There's some small ones.
Why don't we
here.
go to the shrimp so we know?
Let's go to the. Those
Because I have
aren't
a
shrimp.
question.
Those are. These are not shrimp.
Those
Those are dinosaurs.
It's definitely a misnomer that you would call them shrimp, and they're that huge.
Oxymoron.
So okay, so
That is the biggest. Now wait a second, because there's 4 sauces in front of
we
us
haven't been
too.
ignoring the sauces just because
He called that one, I believe, a
Mary.
Bloody Mary sauce.
okay, and that has some horseradish. Spicy, huh?
We need to pull Joe away from his other tables. He needs to.
He's ignoring us suddenly.
He's actually not, and you know what? And it's not just because we're recording. I mean, the service has been wonderful as well too.
Absolutely. We haven't wanted for anything.
Handling every one of our needs.
All right, I'm gonna try. Is this?
I'm back to the tuna again. I mean, these shrimp are ginormous.
There's so much. It's like the shrimp are the size of a bagel.
I mean, this is a meal. This is a meal for two people right here.
I think Scott's actually tempted to try something.
Maybe an oyster?
You know oysters are...
Oh, God. Shrimp, ice cold. So, Joe, real quick, because I'm dying here. This tuna, again, was out of sight.
It's tuna cruda, and it comes from the belly. It's going to be a little bit sweeter, really moist, and it's served in a sweet soy vinaigrette. And then the ceviche is cooked in citrus, Myers lemon, and fresh oranges, and it's finished in a cucumber essence sauce. Gives it that really nice light, kind of cleans your palate while you enjoy it there. You know the butter has the fresh fennel in there. Gives it that licorice flavor.
No, he's not. Did you have some of my tuna?
I did have some of your tuna.
I'm impressed and offended that you took some of my tuna at the same time. Could you just go over real quick the sauces? I'm sorry, one more time.
The first one is the homemade honey mustard. The second one is the Bloody Mary. It is accompanied with the fresh horseradish on the outside, French cocktail with a little bit of brandy, and then your red wine Manuette. A little bit tardy, kind of goes with the oysters and the little neck clams.
Do any go specifically with?
The Bloody Mary goes with the oysters and the shrimp. Either way you want to enjoy it, it's universal. The honey mustard is a little bit more for the fresh claws you have in the center. The red wine Manuette's for the oysters and the little neck clams. And then the French cocktail goes with the shrimp also.
That's this one?
Mm-hmm, yeah. It tastes a little bit of brandy in there. It's maybe a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mayo.
I have
We haven't got to the claws yet.
Yeah, we're about to. But I have a question about the. How do we know which are the East Coast and West Coast?
On the oysters,
Oysters.
the West Coast are always going to have ridges on them. They look like a potato chip. They sit on the side.
So it's like they're like a surfer. I'll think of it as a surfer from the West
they're
Coast.
They're going to be a little bit more plump,
Okay.
a little
All right.
bit juicier, and they have a little bit more of a lemongrass flavor. The East Coast are going to be flat on the back. As you can see, they got no ridges on them.
Okay.
They tend to be a little bit bigger, grindier, and a little bit saltier from the cold water. So the flatbacks are east, the ridges are from the west. That's the best way to know.
Nice.
The oysters on there. And then the West Coast tend to be sometimes smaller.
Let me cleanse my palate.
I'm gonna go to West Coast. I need some bread.
That's good.
Give me the whole thing.
Scott, I'm going to hug you too. You're expanding your culinary horizons.
Now, what did you say that the tuna was dipped in?
Soy vinaigrette?
Yes, that's what helps me like it. I'm a big fan of soy.
This I was wrong. It's like a cucumber instead of a fennel. Try that. It's crap.
Now it's
a free for all.
All right, here it goes down the hatch. That one's a little bit too fishy.
All right. Let's not get crazy. Okay.
But the tuna, that was great.
The tuna's good. All right. So you want to go oysters next? Let's grab an oyster. Scott not digging the oysters at all.
So we're going West Coast.
You want to go West Coast?
West Coast is the one that looks like it's got waves like a surfer.
So we'll go West Coast then East Coast?
Then we'll go East Coast, yes.
And you can tell me which you prefer.
Right, and it'll kind of be like I'm going to Disneyland and then I'm going to Disney World and then we talk about which one we like better. Well,
now you see, you're not using your oyster fork.
Oh, I'm using the wrong fork.
You're not using your seafood fork.
I just saw the size of the oyster.
Now, you got to get a little horseradish on there, too. Get that guy in there. Oh,
You're not
yeah.
using the oyster.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. Help me out here.
Man, we're getting thrown out. Everything was so good until then.
Cold, clean, obviously super important for an oyster.
Yeah, very fresh, obviously just recently shucked. Delicious.
Ice cold. You got to eat your oyster. Mm-hmm. Scott, when you get to that point, ice cold oysters. Now, let's go East Coast. It's like an oyster gang war in here.
Yeah. It's like mafia wars.
We haven't even gotten
We haven't
there.
got
Those
to
are
that
clams.
side yet. So the East Coast is meatier. It says saltier, and it's more like get about it.
Oh, Lord.
What is it?
Jersey oysters.
I'm still going. I'm going to compare apples to apples, so I'm going to go with the Bloody Mary sauce again.
All right, and I'm going with the sauce that looks like Thousand Island dressing, but it's what did he say it was? I think he said it's a cocktail sauce with something.
All right. I have my favorite.
I like the East Coast. It slid right down. I don't know if I have it in my mouth any longer.
Yeah, I like the East Coast as well, too. The consistency is different. The flavor is different. That's what I was used to growing up, coming down to Florida all the time. We used to go to Destin and other places like that in the Gulf, and my dad and I used to sit down with a few dozen oysters, and that's exactly what that reminded me of. So that was awesome.
Fantastic.
That was awesome.
While you guys are having your East Coast West Coast battle, I'm actually finishing off the tuna.
I'm so proud of Scott.
That's probably like a really awesome butter that we've been ignoring because of everything else, but that probably belongs with the bread.
So if you could do us a favor and actually check that out for us.
Yeah. Good job.
All right, let's go.
What do we got? Claws?
You want to go? Let's save the claws, because let's save the claws in that lobster tail that's staring us in the face.
I think this side is...
We got clams.
Let's do clams.
Let's go clam.
It's delicious.
And I'm not a big clam guy,
No.
but that was really good.
I have linguine with clam sauce normally, and that's the only time I get near it. But clams are definitely a stronger flavor than the oysters are.
Well, the difference, too, is the consistency. A lot of people don't like oysters because they're larger. The texture of them is maybe sometimes a little harder for some people to get down than a clam, which is a lot smaller. But if you like oysters, those are out of sight.
Scott doesn't like butter now.
I'll try a little bit. You try that. Look at the size of these claws. Oh, my God. That's huge. Oh, man. Look at that. My dad would...
How is everything?
Amazing.
I am without speech. Everything is better than the next. The tuna and the lump crab were phenomenal. The shrimp were outstanding. He is not a seafood person, and he finished the rest of he took the tuna out of my plate and finished it. So
the tuna is something that we pride ourselves on. It comes from Honolulu Fish Company, where they really don't do a large amount of retail. They don't sell to a lot of establishments, so it's A+, 100% the best tuna you can get.
I'm a big sushi guy and a tuna guy, and that is some of the best tuna I've ever eaten.
Yeah, the way we feel about all of our fish is if you wouldn't eat it sushi grade, then why cook it? So we make sure that we take all of our fish, we butcher it all here in-house so it comes in whole. And so before it hits the table, it goes through 3 chefs' hands, 1 in the shop, 1 on the line, and then the chef that's expoing it. So it has 3 touches, make sure the quality's there.
It shows, and again, we said too from the outset, the presentation is it's as beautiful to look at as it is to eat.
Yeah, when we were talking about people calling us New American Cuisine, it's because of some of the chemicals we use, but a lot of those chemicals just create a nice presentation where we can thicken sauces a little different so we can make them stand up on the plate, stand out, and add a little bit different texture rather than it just being something that's very light. It actually will hold to your food and add some texture when you're eating it.
We're making our way around the tray. We're just about to dig into these dinosaur-sized claws.
Yeah, we can't hardly have a great seafood restaurant in Florida without having Florida stone crab when they're in season, and we supplement those when they're out of season with Alaskan king crab, which I have a hard time. I fight with both of them because I love them both so much that when we have them both in-house, I can't hardly choose, so I have to have one of each.
And they're
Which sausage is used with this?
With the stone crab, I would use the honey mustard sauce all the way on the end. It has a nice little bit of sweetness and tang to go with, the delicate meat.
Oh my gosh, it's phenomenal. Excellent.
We just like to say there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Wow. Thank you. So
Oh my god.
they don't see your face. I've known you long enough to know that head shake is. This is so ridiculously good. I can't.
Oh my gosh. I'm really gonna cry.
Oh, see, now I'm gonna have it just naked. Not me naked, but just the crab naked, without any sauce on it.
Hey, did you try the bread? The butter?
Yes.
Did you hate it?
No, it was good.
Oh my gosh, it's phenomenal.
The stone crab is out of sight. Out of sight.
They're in season for a few weeks when we get them.
Man.
Really good.
I was just saying, you don't even need any sauce on here, but
Let me
it's so good.
get that one on a plate, and I'll have them really cracked it really good for you.
We need to eat here every day.
It's like better than ramen noodles.
Dare I say, better than Chick-fil-A?
What? I feel like Jake and Elwood Blues in the scene from the Blues Brothers.
I was actually feeling like the Gremlins eating after midnight.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
This restaurant has become the you want to impress somebody about Disney World food-wise, or not even Disney World. Like if I had to invite my mother to go try someplace that she goes, I don't like that Disney food. Send her here.
And oh, by the way, there's still a lobster tail up there too.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah, the lobster tail's there. A nice snack.
I've already eaten a lobster tail while you were all working on the crabs. Sorry.
And there's a lot of food there too.
Yeah, there's still plenty.
I mean, there's still a lot of food.
There's a whole nother leg in there. There's a whole nother claw.
That's actually a shrimp, a jumbo shrimp.
And a claw. And there's still. Look at this.
Here.
But it's the size of my fist. That is a huge.
Cut that in half, my friend, and we'll
Isn't
split
there
that.
more there?
That's a lemon.
Okay.
You have the lemon. I'll
I
have
don't
the
have a
lobster.
good plate to put it on.
There you go. Now that lobster, just out of the shell, no drawn butter, no nothing. That's outstanding.
Yeah, fennel. Is there fennel in this? Delicious. It's delicious.
Ridiculously good. I don't know what that butter thing is. That is amazing. What is that?
It's phenomenal. There's nothing butter about it.
It has like a creamy consistency to it.
It's something. We're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to get the instruction manual. This might be the best meal of my life. Forget about Disney World.
I don't think it's overstating.
And that's me saying that before the entree's gone here.
Joe, real quick, this butter-like substance. What exactly is this again?
It's fennel seed butter. It's homemade fennel seed butter that we make. And then the fennel actually tastes a little bit, it has a licorice flavor, a little bit of a sweeter flavor. And it is homemade. We make our butter every day here.
I would like a vat to go, please.
I don't blame you.
Oh, a little hot towel. And you're right, we haven't even gotten to our main course yet.
And dessert. Dessert's going to be insane. It's going to be so ridiculous.
He's going to come out, he's like, we have pound cake or or vanilla ice cream.
Or do Mickey bar or... Phenomenal.
Yeah, and again, we're looking at, as other people's plates are coming out and being served their appetizers and main course. I mean, everything just looks so nice. And again, this, I think suffice to say, this is definitely more of a restaurant that you go to as a couple. As you see, it's older groups. There's not really a lot of younger kids here. So if you are looking for that kind of, dining experience at night, I think this definitely is a place to put very, very high on your list.
Well, good.
He's so good, he's speechless.
Joe, I think he actually wept just a little bit.
That fennel butter is phenomenal. There's no character breakfast here.
Oh, man. Outstanding. It's just amazing. So, Glenn, I'm going to ask you, Scott, and again, sincerely, I'm happy that you took tonight to expand your horizon a little bit, try some other things, but Glenn, you sampled everything on that, on the platter. So, everything that included the lobster tail, the oysters, the clams, the super jumbo shrimp, the crab meat ceviche, the tuna cruda, and all the dipping sauces, which, by the way, that entire thing, and I pulled the menu out again just to be sure, that entire selection platter was $49. And it may sound like a lot as you listen to us talk about it, but if you see it, you could really make that, you could almost make that a meal for two, have an appetizer and make that a meal for two people.
Yeah, there's still stuff on there that we haven't eaten yet. There are still some clams and oysters, and I loved the claws.
Was that your favorite part?
That was my favorite part. I love the claws, and I loved the shrimp, and I love the tuna, and I like my fennel butter.
I thought the claws were amazing, and again, he actually, for the last claw, he went and he cracked it for us and then brought it back.
Right.
They were great. I mean, the oyster. I think that the ceviche and the tuna were nice surprises. Their flavors were a little bit different. The other things were, they were crab claws and they were lobsters, but the flavors for there were just a little bit different than the norm. I think that's why I like those best.
The other thing that, and it's pretty obvious from listening to what's going on, as he brings us everything, he's talking to us about every item of food and expanding our own horizons and setting us up, setting the stage for what we're about to experience, and it's worked phenomenally. It's like makes every bite like that much more special.
You're right, because it becomes a dining experience. It's more than them just sort of bringing the food out to you. You're learning as you're going along, and I think it makes you appreciate the food even more.
Exactly. Appreciate the effort that goes into it as we watch the chefs prepare things in this open kitchen behind us.
And if Joe just looked like Giada De Laurentiis, it would be a perfect evening.
Unfortunately, he doesn't. But
on the right, we have roasted beets, candy walnuts, mixed greens, and a house vinaigrette. And the drizzle there is the goat cheese fondue.
Okay, so we've been here 2 hours, and we are just getting to the salad.
And we're saying that as a good thing, not like, wow, I can't believe we've been waiting so long. Obviously, we've been talking a lot with our server, but we were just sort of talking while we weren't recording about Victoria and Albert's, and because we were saying, this really is kind of like the best meal we've ever had here. And we talked about eating Victoria and Albert's, and I said, what did you remember more? Did you remember the food, or was it the experience? And we all agreed that it was the experience. You don't necessarily remember what you ate, whereas here, the experience is the food itself. We're remembering exactly what. Right.
The experience is more complementary to the food here. I think it seems more logical, and I think Victoria and Albert's part of the experience is it's a little bit stuffy. But this doesn't feel that to me. It doesn't feel like I don't feel underdressed, even though I'm wearing jeans and someone's
and underoos on top, right?
Shirt, whatever.
But and that's it. We said Victoria and Albert's is like going out on the Grand One.
Yes.
It's a special occasion, a special experience, where this is a restaurant that you could come to every time they came down here. This is your favorite place to go every trip. you come to Blue Zoo or whatever it is at your favorite place, because it's not that type of a, But again, the three of us have been sitting there for 2 hours, and we're having an amazing experience here together because of the food we're eating.
Yes, and we're sitting here with roasted beet salad in front of us. It's not a huge salad plate or anything like that. But it's going to be delicious. And then we have our entrees, and then there's probably some ridiculous dessert.
Yeah, it's, again, the presentation for the salad, too, is as attractive as everything else. So
Candied walnuts and vinaigrette.
Scott, what did he do for yours? He got rid of the...
Basically, I got mine without the goat cheese drizzle?
Okay.
So, but it looks great.
Phenomenal. I like beets, though.
Wow.
And I have a story about beets that you've heard many times, I'm sure.
The sweetness of the goat cheese and a slight bitterness of the mixed greens really complement each other nicely.
Fantastic.
Certainly also a nice transitional course between all of that shellfish and then coming into our main course as well. Light and delicious.
And we're all kind of just nodding and shaking our heads. So I've stayed at the Dolphin a number of times, and in addition to the heavenly beds, which I believe are the most comfortable on property, I think that, and this restaurant is a good example of this, is that the experience you get at these hotels is clearly very different than the Walt Disney World Resort experience. And to some, that's something that they look for. For others, it's something that they avoid because they want to sort of they feel that, and they need to feel immersed in the magic all the time.
Right.
What I get the feeling, and my wife said when she was here, was that when you come back to this hotel, you very much feel as though you are away on vacation. You are at a resort, a spa, because you don't sort of have that around you all the time. And I think, like you said, Glenn, this restaurant's sort of a good example of that.
Yeah, several throughout these two hotels, there's a lot of places that many of us don't go because it's not a Disney hotel. Even though it's on Disney property, you have a lot of offerings. The fountain is in many ways comparable to Beaches and Cream. You had a wonderful ice cream selections in there, and shakes that they offer, cheesecake shakes, peanut butter and jelly shakes, all that stuff. But we don't hear about much of that because it's actually in the Swan or the Dolphin. So the Shula's Steakhouse or Il Molino are fantastic. And Kimono's is a sushi restaurant, which is actually my favorite sushi restaurant.
Stop giving away our secrets.
And it's also a karaoke bar in the evening, so great fun. So, it makes me wonder why I never head over this far. It's only one more stop as an option.
Well, I think for a lot of people, it's sort of that threshold of the bridge as they're walking around the promenade. And a lot of people, too, say, oh, well, Swan and Dolphin, they're corporate hotels and they're convention hotels. And they're not. I mean, there's a lot of things for families and kids to do here. There's the Camp Dolphin, which is much like the kids' camps in Walt Disney World. A lot of people don't realize that the pool here is very well themed, and there's an outdoor bar and a waterfall. And so there's a lot here, and you don't sort of get the sense that you're in a convention hotel.
Yeah, you have your character meal here, and you can walk across the street and go to Fantasia Gardens, which is walking distance. You have swan boats that are out there. You can take the swan boats.
Right, and I don't personally have much experience having eaten here. I've eaten at the fountain a few times, and then here at Blue Zoo. But it's amazing as I've walked through here. There's probably a good 12, 13, 14 restaurants between these two hotels. But 17 is it? It's amazing, yeah. But so far, everything that I've seen or experienced has just been phenomenal. And I would love to stay here sometime.
The heavenly beds are awesome. That's all I'm saying. So, and again, too, you're right within walking distance of Epcot. There's a boat dock here, so you can get a boat to the boardwalk, a boat to Epcot, a boat to the studios. You can walk to all those as well, too. And so if you are looking for some of that adult nightlife on the boardwalk? Do you want to go to Jelly Rolls or Atlantic Dance Hall, or even here? There's a number of bars and lounges here. Again, you're getting sort of that adult experience and you're still sort of within the magic. You don't have to necessarily drive to downtown Disney or, dare I say, off property somewhere. And I think that's why when I talked about it, sort of almost an overlooked experience and a hidden treasure, because a lot of people don't come here.
Right. And as you were saying about the pool, I've actually been to the pool here before, and second to the one at the Yacht and Beach Club, I would say it might be the second best one on property. It has a slide and the waterfall. So
yeah, and I think a lot of people don't think of the Swan and Dolphin. Like, they've had this conception of, oh, look at those buildings, they don't look themed like the Polynesian or the Beach Club or whatever, but the amenities that they have here are very much resort-like and well-themed.
The one question I have is, I have stayed in a room here, but I've never tried the transportation from here. Do you happen to know what their transportation is like to get to the parks, etc.?
So there's obviously the boat system that'll take you over to Epcot. I believe buses come here. So the only thing that you really don't get for staying, when you stay here, you can participate in extra magic hours. The only things that you don't get is you can't take Magical Express here, and you can't have your packages shipped here. But I believe there is bus service to the hotels, to the parks. Oh, wow. Can you smell? I mean, as soon as he put it down, you get this, and that's beautiful. Don't touch your food. We need to photograph it first.
Look at Scott.
Wow. Oh, look at your potato that you're going to share with me.
Put a little bit.
So both Glenn and Scott ordered the simple fish,
which is always the fresh catch of the day. It changes every day.
Fresh catch. Each chose a different fish with a different sauce.
On the bottom,
and the sauce was poured on table side.
On the bottom is a bed of silky potatoes. Right here we have the mash and red onions. Hearts of palm gives a little bit of crunch, also cleans your palate. Tampanar is diced olives with fresh capers on there. This is the warm crab meat sauce, and then the lobster on there, butter poached. A little bit of Dijon, a little bit of beurre blanc, shallots, and garlic. The sesame ginger is really refreshing. You will taste that fresh ginger. We muddle it to order there. The marrow, it's got the soy glaze, and then it's accompanied with the ginger shiitake rice. I'll bring you a little bit more fresh iced tea. Is that okay?
Joe, this looks amazing. This looks and smells amazing.
And then the hair corvée, which I'll be taking care of with the lightly tempered batter with the black truffle aioli on the other side dip in. It's another name for French green beans. They're really crunchy, delicious. Welcome to heaven.
We're giggling like little girls.
All right, don't forget to take pictures.
So I just went to cut a piece of my fish, and it literally just flaked apart. Look at the color of that fish on the inside. You sure you don't want me to just feed it to you, Glenn? You actually want me to put it in a plate for you?
I'm actually eating loose fish.
Scott, I haven't even tried it.
What did you get? Oh, you got the sea bass, right?
Oh,
very nice.
Nice light. Scott, you'll like this. It's not fishy at all. It's not dense. It's not flaky. It's a very flaky fish, and that soy sort of glaze on top. Just reach on over and dig in. Here, wait. Here we go. Do you mind my cooties on my fork?
Wow. Very light, very flaky, and the soy is perfect with your fish. I would like to change mine.
You're more than welcome to another piece. That's ridiculously good. How's yours?
It's making me cry.
We're going to need like a group hug after this meal. Grouper is such a, right? Now, did you try his grouper yet?
I have not tried the grouper or giant sea bass.
Such a completely different texture. It's a little bit more dense.
Like a chicken? like
It's like chicken. It's like chicken.
It literally it tastes like good chicken of the sea.
All right, I'm looking forward to that. Although I must say, yours, wow,
Tough to beat. Yeah, this is going to be really tough to beat.
it already beats mine, hands down. But mine's very good as well. It has a nice ginger and sesame sauce with it, and it's also just falling apart as I'm touching it. So.
I think you can order by just pointing at the menu. Here. And you'll love it.
Joe, I would normally say that there's no room left for dessert as you lay down this incredible dessert menu in front of me.
But this is the wonderful thing. On the left, we have our regular desserts, which I'll go over, and on the right's our liquid desserts. One of my favorites is on the bottom. It's called the Flight, and that consists of Cordon Rouge, which is our house Grand Marnier, the 100-year anniversary Grand Marnier, and then the 150, and then you get to enjoy all three.
And who?
Grand Marnier.
Oh.
Grand Marnier. So you get all three, the Cordon Rouge, the 100-year anniversary, and then the 150. They set it up as a flight, and then they'll label them each to go, which is an excellent way to finish if you're a little full. Nice citrusy. The first dessert is kind of the simplest one. It's a warm chocolate cake. In the center, there's a warm chocolate ganache. Chocolate pudding on the outside with a homemade caramel sauce. It's finished with homemade peanut ice cream and Deco chocolate. Put those ingredients together, almost like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh my God.
Really, really nice. On the bottom, it's the raspberry diplomat. It's almost like a puff pastry on the outside, raspberry mousse, white chocolate, vanilla bean whipped cream. Accompanied is a raspberry sorbet and also a little bit of meringue. One that we just added that's kind of nice and light is the B3. It's a blueberry tart, homemade blueberry ice cream, and it comes with Greek lemon lime yogurt on the side, blueberry tuile, blueberry cream tart on there. Really, really nice. And actually a little bit lighter. The chocolate melange consists of 5 different chocolates. The wonderful thing is the milk chocolate creme brulee does come on fire. It gets to caramelize in front of you. And on the outside, one of my favorites has the old school Pop Rocks in it. So when you enjoy it, you'll feel that little, it has the Pop Rocks in it. And these are all made by Chef Laurent. These are only 2-time gold medal pastry champion. Won it twice. Any questions on dessert?
I see it has also a little gold leaf on it.
Gold leaf on it, yes. It is real gold. It is all edible.
I'm going to say, can you just bring me something out of there that looks awesome?
Can I bring out 3 desserts and surprise and we'll go over each?
As long as one of those 3 desserts includes that one and that one.
I would like the top one. All right, the warm chocolate cake.
Right. That's the most popular.
And we have to do the blueberry B3 tart thing.
That's going to look awesome.
So I'm going to bring up, I got you. I'm going to bring out the first 3.
Okay.
And then would you be enjoying coffee, cappuccino?
I think Scott wants a Macallan 1946.
Excellent choice.
No, he doesn't. No, I'm only kidding. At $225, please don't bring that out.
Coffee.
So we'll go for the Louis then.
Louis. Yeah, Louis would be nice.
Regular coffee or decaf? Decaf. Decaf for Scott. He needs decaf. He's at about 6 Diet Cokes right now.
He's watching his weight after this meal.
He makes sure he goes to sleep. Sir, did you wish for coffee?
No, thanks.
No?
Do I want a little espresso or do I want a little regular coffee?
Order the espresso. I'll make you something
Make me a
personal.
nice espresso?
Yeah, and I'll make you something personal to go with it. All right. Get that started for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know when the last time I was this happy.
Christmas is coming.
Don't tell your wife that.
I'm just sort of. This is a reconnaissance. This is a reconnaissance mission for my wife, because someday I'm going to take her here.
Someday you are going to, yes. Yes, and she deserves it.
The gentleman.
Hi, Glenn, nice to meet you.
Chef Lou Mangello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Scott.
How are you?
Chef, you have made 3 fat old men really, really happy tonight.
Awesome. That's what we try to do. So.
The meal was outstanding, from presentation to the service to the flavors and just how they described it. It was an educational and culinary experience unlike anything else.
Cool, thank you, I appreciate it. You know, we have a very modern setting, so we try to present everything, you know, in a more modern fashion. You know, if you look at Todd's other restaurants, they're mostly very rustic, Italian or Mediterranean influence. We take those base flavors from him and try to transform it a little bit and streamline it, make it a little bit more new presentation, new style. But all of his, core flavors and layering of flavors, and his philosophy is all right in the food. So
I think the layering is one of the things that we talked about. It was, it wasn't just, there were so many sort of pieces of the onion to peel off as you were eating the food, from the sauces to the textures to the crust to the accoutrements with it.
We try to, if we put beets on something, we try to put beets, 3 or 4 different ways, different textures, different flavors. So you're getting, we have like the pickled beet paint on the salad, then the sous vide beets, and then we make the, beet powder out of it. And we take it a little bit farther, so it really, throughout each stage of the dish, you get a little bit of it.
Very fresh fish. Delivery every day.
Every day we try to stick with a lot of the purveyors around here, but we go as far as Honolulu Fish Company. Also in Maine and Boston, we have some guys, Brown Trading. We get a lot of stuff from Boston too. But it's for the most part right here, Gary's Seafood is our biggest guy, and they're in contact all the time. I got him on my Nextel right now, and anytime he's got something that comes in, he's calling me first, So that's fish, and they do a specialty side too. And a lot of our produce too is Hammock Hollow's Herb Company. It's about an hour from here in Ocala, and Charlie is the guy. It's the oldest organic farm in Florida, and he drops a pallet off every week, and it's what he has that's ready right then. So it's good for us, because that's why we leave the menu kind of vague, so we can, all these things that we get from him, we can put into it, So
that's the nice thing too, is that we know the next time we come here, because there will be a next time. It's not going to be just the same items to choose from. There's going to be some sort of at least a slight variation.
Right. And we do, we have our core menu that we do, but we're always tweaking presentation, tweaking different flavor components, things like that, just to make it. We get bored. We get bored doing the same plate every day and looking at the same thing. So I'm ADD. I can't look at that 100 times in a row. So then we start playing with it. It gives the guys on the line too some, we really want them to be a part of the process and have them come up with some things. It gives them a sense of ownership, and when they have that, they put a lot more feeling into the food.
So if you get a shipment of fresh fish that you normally don't get, would you take it in and make up something with it?
Right. We'll do. That's some of the things, the outlets that we use that we have. Like, we definitely have our Simply Fish, so we can put several different kinds of fish at night. We also have our Chef's Pasta, which we change. Usually make, if it's a filled pasta, we'll make enough filling for a couple of days, 2 days or something. But we're always changing the proteins and the components that go with it, whether it's meat, whether it's fish, whether it's anything. I have a guy that's really big into like charcuterie and sausages, so we have our own like lardo curing and all kinds of. We have a whole cooler back there full of some really interesting like copa and things like that hopefully they'll be ready by January, and we can start incorporating some of those and into some of the dishes.
Well, whoever came up with the recipe for the miso, I want to hug him, because that was far and away the best thing I've ever tasted.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of the things we source from Hawaii, because of the Chilean sea bass. Is on his way out, and we haven't used it in 2 years. We don't want to use it. So we found an alternative to it. It's a mero. It's a grouper from Hawaii, basically. But where it lives and what it feeds on is a high fat content, and it almost mimics that of that sea bass. So it's a sustainable fish. They're rated by the Monterey Bay Aquarium as a best alternative, and so we know that we're not out there just destroying fish population. We try to be conscious of what we're doing, and it turns out that it's a great alternative.
A great, delicious alternative. It's Chef, this meal so far has been outstanding, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
No problem. I'm going to save a strip of that chocolate pudding for Scott. Oh my gosh, that is so rich and... Oh, I have to go lie down. Oh my gosh.
Why are you rubbing your belly like a Buddha?
Yeah, the warm chocolate interior. Wow, there's so much chocolate, but divine.
Oh my gosh.
That peanut ice cream is delicious.
I haven't even had that yet.
I love the... This thing is lined with a delicate chocolate pudding, almost. Delicious.
You got your peanut butter in my chocolate.
You got my chocolate in my darn peanut.
Going in order.
No, so that was the chocolate and the peanut. That was, now you just had some of the creme brulee.
Yeah, there's something in the creme brulee. The Pop Rocks. It's the Pop Rocks are in there, right?
Oh, well then now I have to try it then.
Yeah.
On the bottom? Is that what it is?
On the top.
On the top.
It's the
Help me out
brulee
here.
part.
Help me out here. Oh, okay. I'm having issues.
The brulee part of the creme brulee has Pop Rocks in it. And that's only 1/5 of this entire dessert. There's 5 different...
Yeah, and I'm going to put pictures of
Yeah, I would say all
everything
three
that
of
we've
these
been
things
eating.
look better than just about any dessert you'd get anywhere.
Let's start moving our way down the line. I'm going to start. What is this thing?
This thing has gold.
Oh, it's got gold. Well, I'm going to eat the gold.
He's eating gold.
Oh, no, you can eat the gold. Goldfinger. It's got like a chocolate candy shell. And it's like a
big
chocolate.
M&M?
No, like a chocolate cake inside.
Chocolate cake? All right, I got to try it. I'm eating the one with gold.
It's the half dome.
I'm
with
eating the
gold
gold.
on top.
I'm eating the gold. It is. It's like a crunchy outside.
Crunchy on the outside.
All right, I'm going to move down the other
Chocolate
way.
on the inside.
I'm going to move down this way.
Sort of truffly flavor. You taste a truffle type flavor in there? Maybe that's what it is, a truffle.
That might be the gold.
Doesn't taste like the gold I've ever eaten.
That's a completely different
This thing?
flavor of chocolate there.
All right.
So these guys are butchering it.
It's cold like ice cream, but it's not. It has a different consistency to it.
We need Joe. We need Joe to explain what we're eating again. He just needs to hang out at our table all night long.
I don't know how to describe that. It's delicious.
Oh,
Glenn got the scissors.
I'm getting the chills a lot for this meal.
All right, move down. Let's move next.
All right, so this one looks like a chocolate mushroom with cake.
It's like a marshmallow with different flavors of chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And our descriptions are awful because we're not explaining how good these things really taste.
And it's
There's
got
like a
a
crunchy-
shaved chocolate on the top.
Very finely shaved. With the chocolate mousse underneath that, but on top of the cake, and there's some sort of a crunchy, like a biscuit somewhere in there too.
Biscuit. There's a crunchy, yeah. There's
All right, I'm moving over to the blueberry. I'm moving to the blueberry thing.
Wait, what's that? But what's that? There's something. There's a chocolate in
There's
there
a whole
too.
other one.
Oh, I missed
that we
the
didn't
chocolate.
touch.
All right, you guys
It looks
hit that
like
one.
It has a gold leaf.
This blueberry thing is healthy,
Like a-
so I'm going to eat this.
That looks like a gold leaf bean.
I'm eating the
gold leaf
blueberry thing.
Coffee bean on top.
Gold leaf coffee bean.
It doesn't matter. If I eat this blueberry thing, it's going to counteract all the
Yes.
calories I had tonight.
Because
There's fruit.
You have that. All right, I'm gonna have the gold leaf.
You get the gold leaf coffee bean. You will like that more than me. What's this thing?
Oh my goodness. This.
Don't eat the
I don't-
flour.
You are wasting your time with the raspberry.
That purple, that purple ganache is really awesome.
This right here.
Yeah, it's a blueberry potato latke or something.
I would like to describe this one. This had like a 3-layered thin chocolate wafer crisp with very fine mousse, or coffee flavored mousse in the middle, with a gold leaf coffee bean on top.
Try this with the Greek yogurt thing on the side and the blueberry. That's really nice.
What is that on the right? The white thing that looks like a.
I think he said it was like a yogurt. Okay.
It looks.
It's a denser thicker consistency.
Speaking of denser.
That's nice. You know why I like this? That's a nice. It's not overly sweet. Yeah, that's the right word. It's fresh.
Unique. It's not like, I mean, even though those were all unique, they're still just like, hey, for dessert you got some sort of chocolate. That's not like a fruit roll-up or anything I'm used to eating.
Yeah, you know what? Let's call the chef out, the pastry chef. I know you won this award twice. It tastes just like a fruit roll-up.
and this was designed by the same person who designed the chocolate Santa and the other.
The entire Santa display made out of chocolate.
All right, I just broke the record and I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, that blueberry dessert. That's the nice way to end this meal. That's my choice for the
peanut butter and chocolate delicious. That's a heavier one, a very solid chocolatey peanut buttery dish. But the raspberry one, that's raspberry.
That would be nice. Like if you're somebody who likes an after dinner drink, that would be nice. Like with a nice port, something like that. But yeah, this is really fresh, and I like this. This is sort of like how I'd like my palate to end up at the end of the night, is with that and my little cup of espresso.
The Pop Rocks are pre-popped, so they're not popping on your...
That's actually, I forgot, I don't know if we mentioned that came out presented. It was on fire. It had a big flame through it. I guess that's what made the creme brulee part. It came out on fire. It eventually went out after a couple of minutes.
I don't think they eat for like a week.
No, but you know what? This didn't disappoint. The desserts did not disappoint. It was equally on par with everything else we had tonight.
This has been a fantastic meal, fantastic experience.
With fantastic friends.
Yeah, certainly the food would not have tasted as good without the two of you guys here. Actually, no, probably would have. But in sort of summarizing, without repeating ourselves, I think this is undoubtedly this is my new favorite restaurant. And it's almost one of the ones, like you said, Glenn. You almost don't want to give away the secret, but this is another reason to come by and visit the hotel, because I think this is the best meal, and I don't want to be overly, but I think this is the best meal I've ever had from beginning to end.
Yeah, exactly. Every single thing had something that is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. And there was no, I'll just pass on this one this time. Everything was very good. Great environment, and nice walkover from Epcot, so you can work it off on the way.
I completely agree. I think we're going to have to actually secure this particular podcast with a 256-digit secret code that we only give out to our closest friends. This has been a phenomenal...
If you are listening to it, you are one of our closest friends.
But yeah, I think this is an ideal place to take your husband, wife, fiance, group of friends. You want to have sort of that overall phenomenal dining experience. It is definitely worth coming by. And Joe, you were awesome, man. This was you were a big part of the success of this meal, because you educated us, you explained it all to us, and sort of learning along the way and hearing what we were eating and what we were ordering and what we were about to eat really sort of enhanced the experience for all of us.
The best thing about serving, you have to have passion. I love what I do. That's what makes it easy. It was a pleasure serving you. We're still not done. We still have more desserts coming. Oh, come on. So nah.
And you actually need to stay at the Dolphin if you eat here, because otherwise it's just an easy walk upstairs as opposed to, just roll me up there.
Outside. You have the little boats that are all complimentary. They take you to any park. You have the boardwalk right across the street. On the other side at the Swan, we have Kimonos, which is a karaoke bar. It's open late. And as you see, the restaurant is beautiful, and so is the people here. So.
And you know what? You want to sort of have that adults' night out. You come here, you have a nice meal, you can go to the boardwalk, you can take a walk, you can take an Illuminations cruise, go to Jelly Rolls, whatever it might be. People sometimes think of Disney World and they think, it's for kids, it's Dumbo and Cinderella. and you don't realize the phenomenal experience you can have as an adult and as a couple and whatnot. So, and I think this is a great example of it. So, huge thumbs up for Todd English's Blue Zoo.
This one tastes like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I say that's your favorite. So this one's a little different. And then the great thing is when you come back, the desserts always change. Everything changes. So there's only a few things that always stay. One is the lobster. We're very famous for it. It never changes off the menu. It's one menu item that's been here from day one. We always have different kind of flatbreads that Todd English is famous for. And then the clam chowder is the same one we serve at Olive Steak. But the whole menu does change, very seasonal.
So we'll have to come here summer, fall, winter, spring. So 4 times a year we'll have to come to try a different menu. We can make that happen. Oh my God. Well, after what? It's been now 4+ hours that we've been here. What can we say? This has been great. Guys, thanks so much for really taking one for the team and joining me tonight. This was a wonderful night I will not soon forget.
A fantastic experience. I don't think I can eat for about a week.
This has been the greatest meal. Thank you so much. And I will definitely take my wife here.
And Scott had fish. Scott had fish. Next time, goat cheese.
Next time,
fondue.
That's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks so much for taking the time and tuning in. Hope you enjoyed our review of Blue Zoo. If you weren't hungry before, chances are you're hungry now. Big thanks go out to Scott Otis, Glenn Whalen, and the entire staff, everybody over at Todd English's Blue Zoo, especially Joe, our server, who really made it a wonderful experience for all of us. Big thanks also to everybody who came by the WDW Radio Meet of the Month this past Saturday in Walt Disney World. We had it over Marathon Weekend. Had such a great time meeting so many new faces and seeing some old friends once again. Of course, congratulations have to go out to everybody who participated in any way in the Walt Disney World 5K, half, or full marathon this past weekend. Again, I had one of my best experiences cheering all of you guys on. Of course, everybody who's part of the WDW Radio running team and everybody who came out and encouraged the runners all did an amazing job. The volunteers, the cast, the organizers. Of course, we're going to do a full recap of the events. But again, I want to say thanks not just to the running team, but everybody who came by the meet of the month, as well as the people, the runners that I met at 3 a.m. in the tents for the half and the full, on the course, and afterwards. We are also very proud of you. Of course, I have to give special congratulations to my wife, who did her first, probably her last, full marathon as well. I am truly very proud of her as well. Moving forward, we are at like 40-something days until we sail on the Disney Dream. Don't forget that I've posted updates over at WDWRadioCruise.com. That includes an outline of our itinerary, information on just some of the activities we have planned, as well as information and rules about a contest that we're having, both before you get on board as well as after, as well, things you can start working on right now, and how to submit your entry once you get on board. And speaking of the Disney Dream, don't forget that on Wednesday, January 19th, I'm going to be boarding for the Dream's christening cruise, and I'm going to be bringing you along with me because I'm going to be broadcasting video live that morning as I board the ship and as long and as often as I can. You can also stay tuned to me over on twitter.com/Lou Mongello and the WDW Radio Facebook page at facebook.com/WDW Radio for updates as to when I'll be broadcasting. I'm expecting to start probably about 9 o'clock that morning. But again, Twitter and Facebook, probably the best ways. In order to go and watch, all you need to do is go and visit wdwradiolive.com on your computer. Or if you have a smartphone, you can watch via the Ustream.tv application on your iPhone or Droid. Speaking of watching, don't forget every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, you can come by, watch, chat, and be part of the broadcast as we do the WDW newscast every Wednesday night, where we talk about Walt Disney World and have you be part of the conversation. If you can't make it, don't forget that I'll post the newscast that evening on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WDW Radio, where we want the conversation to continue there. By you leaving your comments, I'll certainly come by, comment as well. And I've also started including the newscast as part of the WDW Radio podcast feed. So it will show up as a separate entry, different from the regular WDW Radio show. You'll see a newscast entry. So if you don't get a chance to watch or come by on YouTube, but you sometimes enjoy listening more in the car, it will be an audio-only version of the newscast that'll start showing up in your feed. Again, being part of the show is what I love having you guys do most. So if you want to email me, it's lou@wdwradio.com. You can call the voicemail and be heard on the air at 888-703-2171. So come by the website over at wdwradio.com. Sign up for our free newsletter. Talk with other Disney fans in our fun, family-friendly, safe environment in our forums. You can read our daily blog post, check out our photo gallery, and stay tuned for a lot of new videos coming very, very soon as well. And while you're on the site, you can also come to the WDW Radio shop, where you can get signed copies of my Walt Disney World trivia books, as well as the audio guides to Walt Disney World on CD or instantly downloadable files. There you can also find a link over to celebrationspress.com, where you can order back issues, subscribe to, and find out more, including how you can contribute to Celebrations magazine. Looking ahead to February, we're cruising on the Disney Dream on February 27th, but on Saturday, February 26th, we will have the meet of the month earlier that day. I'm still working on finalizing details and locations, but if you are in Walt Disney World, even if you're not coming on the Dream, please come by and say hi. Again, stay tuned to the show, Facebook, and Twitter for more information. Thanks as always to my partners and sponsors, including Mouse Fan Travel. They are my official and recommended travel provider for all your vacation planning needs. Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line. Becky and her team of agents give you the best possible prices and discounts. More importantly, an amazing level of personal service that is their hallmark. AllStarVacationHomes.com has more than 150 houses within 5 miles of Walt Disney World. Vacation homes offer private pools, spas, kitchens, game rooms, lots more. And finally, I want to say thanks to the Swan and the Dolphin, located right in the heart of Walt Disney World. As you can tell from this review, they are home to not just one, but 17 world-class restaurants and lounges, incredible guest rooms, again with those heavenly beds, the Mandara Spa, and so much more. You can check them out over at swananddolphin.com. And speaking of Meets of the Month, come by and check out DisneyMeets.com. That's where you can get all the information, not just about the Meets of the Month, but other special events and things that we're going to be doing in 2011. We've got the Adventures by Disney trip this summer, right before the D23 Expo in Anaheim from August 19th through the 21st. We will be out there again. We're going to bring the box people with us. We have a lot of special, really fun things planned for that trip out to Disneyland. So if you're coming by the Expo or live in the area, come by and say hi. We'll be doing some events in and around Disneyland as well. That is just the beginning of some of what we have planned for 2011, so definitely stay tuned, not just to the show, but to DisneyMeets.com as well. Finally, my friends, and you are my friends, as always, if you like the show, all I ask is that you please help spread the word, let others know about it, tweet out that you're listening, share the link on Facebook, and if you feel so inclined, come by, review the show, and the free WDW Radio iPhone app over in iTunes. And this past weekend, I met so many people that took it upon themselves and challenged themselves and were inspired and motivated to run in the Walt Disney World Marathon. And I love seeing that. And I hope that you start to pursue your passion and follow your dream, whatever it may be. And once you do, always keep moving forward and let nothing and no one stand in your way. So until next week, my friends, I hope you have a great week, everybody. See ya.
Hey Lou, it's Kirby. I just wanted to congratulate you on your 200th episode. It seems like only a couple of days ago you finally reached 100. I also really enjoyed that Sci-Fi Dine Theater DSI you did on your last episode, because it's probably one of my favorite places to eat at Walt Disney World, and hearing you talk about your favorite things about it was just really cool, because I haven't been to Disney World in a while. So that's basically all I wanted to say, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas, Lou. See ya.
Hi, Lou. This is Bobby from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's the last day of my trip, this December 23rd, heading back home. Going to be leaving Pop Century in a little while. I just wanted to say thank you for some of the interviews and everything you did with Jim Korkis. got some really fun information about Main Street that I was able to share with the rest of my friends who were on this trip with me, and it really helped make things a little more special. Thanks for everything you do, and have a great day. Bye.
Hi, Lou. This is Dom Z from Pennsylvania, just calling you to wish you a Happy New Year and also just give you some thoughts. My wife, Angela, and I and two friends, Dan and Vicky, made a trip to Disneyland during the Christmas break, and it was just it was almost like walking on holy ground, knowing that Walt was the one who really built that park, and his fingerprints are on so many of the attractions, and just his presence was there, and it's a different experience. It's definitely a smaller feel to the park, but the details are finer, and we went on the Pirates of the Caribbean, which I feel is definitely more detailed and has more of a story to it than the one in the World in Florida. The Haunted Mansion had the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, which was awesome to really kind of go through that, and also the Christmas overlay at Small World was fun to kind of walk through that, and we did see the World of Color, which was amazing, and the videos that you see just don't do it justice. And also Santa Claus was there, which was a highlight for us, finding him tucked back there a few days after Christmas, resting up, and it was just amazing. We can't wait to go back and really kind of dive into the details. I really wasn't 100% prepared. We were originally going to go to the Grand Canyon, but that was snowed in, so we made a 4.5 hour trip to Disneyland. So that was great. So thanks again, Lou. Congratulations on being the top travel podcast, and hopefully we will see you soon at the World. All right, take care. Bye.
Hey, Lou, this is Armando, longtime listener and fan, first-time caller. I'm calling regarding your comments on show from January 2nd, 2011, about the technology in the parks and the applications to check in and all that. Having a technology background and working in technology, I know it's fun once in a while, but the last few trips we've taken to Walt Disney World, it's gotten quite out of hand where you see families there together, but they're not really together because everyone's on their smartphone, either Facebooking, texting, emailing, back and forth. And for me, the whole objective of a family vacation is to basically talk to your spouse and kids and interact and have fun, build memories about experiences, not just being there to be there and ride rides. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on the subject. Felt strongly about it, against it actually, but I guess to each its own. So thanks for everything you do, and have a great 2011. Bye.
Hey, Lou, it's Denzel again from Marion, New York. I wanted to chime in my thoughts again on the marriage between Pixar and Disney. Even before it became official, I had always considered the Pixar characters to be Disney. And I can say this because every time when a new film would come out, the first thing I would say, if it was a Pixar film, was, oh, good, there's a new Disney film out. As far as I'm concerned, they really are. We've always considered Buzz Lightyear and Woody and all of them to be Disney because you can go into the Disney store and there they are. So obviously, they are a Disney property. They are a Disney character as far as I'm concerned, and they belong right up there with Mickey Mouse. All right? Thanks again. Keep up the great work on the podcast. Bye.
Hi, Lou. This is Scott from New Jersey. I'm here in Disney World with my brother. We are staying at the Port Orleans French Quarter. Just got back from Magic Kingdom Extra Magic Hours. I took you up on a bit of advice I heard on your show some point recently, which was to take the Jungle Cruise at night, which we did, and I must say it is a completely different experience than going on it during the day. Just a wonderful evening at the parks, and thank you for all that you do. Your show really does a wonderful job at bringing the Disney World magic to you no matter where you are and when you are listening to the show. So keep up the great work. congratulations on your recent 200th show, and look forward to the future shows. Take care.